The thing that watches. I never noticed the thing at first. I guess that's how these stories always go, right? You ignore something because your brain doesn't register it as a threat. It blends into the background of your life. A shadow in the corner. A noise you dismiss. It started with my bedroom window. My house backs up to a forest, thick, old trees with roots that bulge out of the ground like veins. The neighborhood kids used to dare each other to go deep into the woods at night, but no one ever lasted long. Even in the summer, the forest always seemed colder than it should be. My bedroom is on the second floor, and my window faces the tree line. At night, I keep the blinds cracked open just enough to let in the moonlight. One night, I woke up at exactly 3:12 a.m. The kind of waking up that feels unnatural, like something pulled me out of sleep. My body felt stiff, my skin cold. And then I saw it. Outside my window, just beyond the tree line, a figure stood perfectly still. It was too far to make out any features. Just a dark, human-shaped silhouette watching. I stared at it for what felt like forever, my breath shallow. My body was locked in place, frozen between fight and flight. I wanted to believe it was my mind playing tricks on me. I blinked. It was gone. That was the first time. The second time, I was brushing my teeth before bed when I caught movement in the mirror. I turned just in time to see a shape vanish from my window. My stomach twisted. I forced myself to walk to the window and peer outside. The backyard was empty. The forest loomed in the distance, its trees swaying gently in the wind. But something was wrong. The trees weren't moving. The wind had stopped. It was like the entire world had gone silent. And then as I stood there, my breath fogging the glass, I saw them. Dozens of them glinting in the darkness. Low to the ground, peering at me from between the trees. And then they blinked, at the exact same time. I dropped to the floor, heart hammering, and crawled away from the window. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I convinced myself I had imagined it. Sleep deprivation can mess with your mind, right? Shadows play tricks. The brain fills in gaps. But deep down, I knew better. For the rest of the day, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every time I glanced out a window, I expected to see something standing there, waiting. But the forest remained still, indifferent. That night, I told myself I wouldn't look. I closed my blinds completely, stuffed a blanket at the base of my door, and left every light on in my room. It didn't help. I woke up at 3:12 a.m. again, my body rigid with fear before my brain could even process why. The room was dead silent. Then I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Not at my door. Not at the walls. At my window. I squeezed my eyes shut, every nerve in my body screaming to stay still. Maybe if I didn't move, it would go away. Maybe I had imagined the tapping. Then it came again. Harder. More urgent. Tap, tap, tap. I clamped a hand over my mouth to keep from gasping. Because here's the thing. My bedroom is on the second floor. There was no way anyone could be tapping at my window. No way anyone could be standing there. I had to look. I had to know. Slowly, painfully, I turned my head. At first, I thought I was safe. The blinds were still closed. But something was wrong. One of the slats was bent outward as if something had pried it open. Something was looking in. And then, the slat snapped back into place. A rush of movement, something pulling away, something climbing back down. I scrambled out of bed, flipped on every light in the house, and checked the backyard. Nothing. No footprints. No disturbed grass. No signs that anyone had been there. But when I looked up at my window, the blinds were open. I stopped sleeping. I stopped looking at the forest. Every night, I barricaded my door, played music to drown out the silence, and kept my back to the window. But I still woke up at 3:12 a.m. And it was always there. Watching. Then it got inside. It started small. Little things out of place. My closet door slightly open when I knew I had closed it. My desk chair moved just enough to make me doubt myself. One night, I woke up sweating, my sheets tangled around my legs. My body was twisted unnaturally, like I had been pulled in my sleep. I sat up, groggy, and rubbed my eyes. And my bedroom door was wide open. The blanket I had stuffed at the base was missing. I barely had time to process the dread sinking into my stomach before I noticed the air felt different. Heavy. Like something was in the room with me. I turned my head. And the closet door was open. Just a crack. Something shifted inside. Breath hitched in my throat, I reached for my phone. The flashlight cut through the darkness as I aimed it at the closet. There was nothing inside. Just my clothes. My shoes. The normal things. But my closet smelled wrong. Like damp earth. Rotten wood. And something else. Something I couldn't name. I shut the door and didn't open it again for weeks. The final night. I don't remember falling asleep, but I remember waking up. 3:12 a.m. I was not alone. A presence loomed over me, heavy and suffocating. My body locked up. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. The air felt wrong. And then, breathing. Right. Next. My ear. Slow. Wet. Raspy. Like something that didn't know how to breathe right. The smell of damp earth filled my nose, seeping into my lungs. I couldn't turn my head, but I could see the window in my peripheral vision. The blinds were fully open now. The forest outside was wrong. The trees moved, not swaying in the wind but shifting, rearranging themselves. And then, through the trees I saw them. The eyes. Not dozens this time. Hundreds. They blinked in eerie unison. The thing beside me breathed in. And whispered, "We're inside now." I don't remember what happened next. I woke up on the floor, my sheets soaked with sweat. My body ached like I had been dragged. The window was shut. The blinds were back in place. My closet was closed. But I knew. They had been here. And they would be back. Because once you let them in, they never really leave.